Nick here, back with another video. Today, I want to talk about resistance. What is resistance and how we can eliminate it so we can achieve our goals and our dreams and aspirations much faster. So, again, this is gonna be another scripted type video. I got some notes over here to my right. So if you see me kind of glancing over here every now and again, that's why. I feel like I always want to explain it because I think it's kind of annoying when I'm watching someone's video and they're just like looking this way the whole time, or they keep like looking around. It just bothers me. So I like to explain it in my videos so you know what's going on. So what is resistance? Resistance is going to be the number one thing that keeps you from getting to where you want to go. Because resistance is that force that we feel, that misalignment between our actions and our intentions, where we know we should be doing something, but we don't do it. And what I've learned from myself and from working with people in my coaching business is that for 90% of the time, we know exactly what we should be doing in order to get to where we want to go. The problem is that we don't do it. You know, some people are like, "Oh, the problem's the execution. It's the strategy. It's the formula." It's like, no. I mean, for the most part, if someone's not selling you on a scam, any strategy is gonna work. That's why two people can take the exact same course and get completely different results, because one person might face resistance a lot, right? So then they're not going to be executing on the things they know they should be executing as much as the person who might not have resistance in the same manner. Maybe this person over here figured out how to deal with their resistance, or their actions are just more in line with their intentions than this person. So that's why they're going to get different results with the same information. And that's why it's so crucial to make sure and become conscious of resistance and have a way that you can systematically begin to overcome it. Because as you continue to move up in life, and as you continue to keep trying to do new things and wanting to achieve new goals, and you have your bigger dreams, you know, you accomplish a goal, then you want to hit the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Continuing to do that is going to require you to continue leveling up, and you're going to keep facing resistance at each and every stage. So like I was saying, it should be as easy as just setting a goal and then just doing it, right? It should be as easy as being like, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to get it to 10K, and then just doing it, just doing all the things you know you need to do, and then just doing it. But no, that's not how it goes. You know, we get self-doubt, maybe self-sabotage, you know, all these other factors come into play, and a lot of it is rooted in resistance. And what resistance is a misalignment. Like I said, like a misalignment. No, not like, it is a misalignment between your conscious intentions, or your conscious intentions, and your subconscious programs, your subconscious conditioning, your personality, your state of being, who you are. There's a mismatch here. They don't line up. So that's why you're having a hard time to do the things you want. Because think about it this way: you're having to act out of character in order to get what you want. Your character is over here. 95% of you is right over here, and 5% of you is your conscious mind. So you're having to act out of character, out of 95% of what your character is. You're having to act against that. So that's where the resistance comes in. Okay? But to really begin to fully understand this, it's important to know how the brain works, and how the subconscious mind gets primed, and how our personalities are reflected in our brains. So essentially, your current experience of reality, your personality, your identity, your state of being, all of that can be characterized and seen as a set of neurological synaptic connections and networks in your brain. And the way these connections are formed is the more you have certain thoughts and experiences, the stronger those connections related to that get formed, because your brain always reflects what's in your environment and what you experience and what you think. So if you're continuing to think certain things all the time and experiencing certain things all the time, it shapes your personality, it shapes who you are, because now that feedback is being processed through the brain, and those connections in the brain associated with that become stronger. And think about it like this. Think of grooves in the soil. Have you ever poured water on top of some soil? And what do you notice is that the water begins to run down. And as it begins to run down, you keep pouring water, it's going to start to create grooves in the soil, like little divots where the water keeps passing through. And there's going to be certain dominant grooves where the water passes through. So then those grooves, the dominant ones, are going to be much deeper, more pronounced, and the strongest stream of water is going to start going through there. Now, there might be other grooves where the water might go, but they're not going to be as pronounced or as strong as the dominant ones where the water is flowing the most. Excuse me. So, as these connections are formed, like I was saying, they begin to make an impression on your subconscious mind. And the strongest, most dominant connections and networks in your brain actually end up becoming a program, because those thoughts and experiences through such repetition, and when you have thoughts and experiences, they induce emotion. So then that continual process, because repetition is absolutely key for reprogramming your subconscious, through that process, it now becomes a subconscious program, becomes part of your personality, becomes who you are as a person. Okay? So these dominant connections and networks are gonna be responsible for your experience of reality 95% of the time. So, just like those dominant connections that make up your personality, and the dominant grooves in the soil where the water flows the most, your goals, dreams, and aspirations, those are also connections in your brain, because you think about them. So they're reflected in your brain through neural networks and pathways. But they are anywhere near as strong as your personality and as your subconscious programs. So, in order to achieve your goals, in order to get the things you want, like I was saying in the beginning, you have to act out of character. You have to get outside and act outside of the bounds of those connections, of what you currently experience 95% of the time. You have to act outside of that, and you have to forge and strengthen those connections associated with your goals and aspirations. Because once you begin to operate outside of your personality, once you begin to operate outside of your subconscious programs, that's exactly where you face resistance. Because now, from being aligned, they're completely unaligned. Because before, you weren't going after your goals and dreams, so you were fine here. And the path of least resistance is when you're unconscious and you're just operating on this. So like, getting a cheeseburger is all subconscious program, and you're not exercising your free will. So you just, and usually for most people, bad habits are the majority of the subconscious mind. So you can see how destructive a lifestyle can be when that occurs. So, like I was saying, you'll always experience resistance when they're not aligned. Always. So then the key, if you haven't came to it on your own yet, is going to be to align them, but to align them based on your dreams, goals, and aspirations, right? By forging and forming and strengthening the connections associated with your intentions. So, if you can do this systematically, you can begin to align your conscious intentions of your dreams and your goals, and you can begin to align them with your subconscious programs and your and you start creating these dominant synaptic connections in your brain associated with your dreams and goals, you will be nothing short of unstoppable. And not only will you not face resistance in your day to day when you are needing to execute on the things that you need to execute, you will also start to see everything around you change. Your reality will begin to shift. And as a result, it'll continue to speed up the process of aligning your conscious intentions with your subconscious programs. So, I wanted to share with you this system. And this system is something that I think just said I had 10% left. So, I'm going to make this quick. So, this system, like I was saying, this system is what I share with my clients, and this is something that I personally use in order to systematically continue to align my conscious intentions with my subconscious programs so that I can continue to achieve the things that I want, but while eliminating resistance in the process. Because like I said, as you continue to grow, as you continue to build, you are, going to have to get used to continually acting outside of your personality. And this is what they call getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Always acting out of your comfort zone. And if you can do this with this system, you're always going to be forging new connections with your new intentions, and you're literally always going to be rewiring your brain for success. It's awesome. So the system goes like this, okay? It's 5 steps. First step is intend, okay? The first step is intend, and you need to clearly outline what you want. What is it that you want? What's the goal? Be very, 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 very specific. Often, people leave their goals fuzzy, a little bit general. Like, they're like, I want to lose weight, or whatever, right? That's the best example I could come up with off the fly, because that's like one that most people will understand. Or, I want to build a business, or I want to become an artist or something, right? They leave their goals fuzzy. And often it's because if they leave their goals fuzzy, then their failure won't be specific. Because if the goal is really, really specific, then they'll know when they failed, right? Because if they don't hit that specific goal, then they failed. But that's not a bad thing. It's good to be very, very specific with your goals, because now you have something to aim at. Now you have something to focus at. Because if it's fuzzy, then these connections are going to be fuzzy, and they're not going to be detailed and dominant, and they're not going to be able to be as strong as if it was very, very specific what you were trying to aim at. So anyways, be very, very clear about what you want. And the second one is going to be visualize, okay? This step, vitally important. So your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what you vividly imagine. Because remember, the subconscious mind is entirely irrational. It's purely emotional. So if you're visualizing something, that's why if you're like, you're caught in thinking in your head, right? And maybe you have an upcoming event that you might be nervous about, and you think about it and then you get anxious. Like, nothing around you physically is happening, but just by thinking about something that makes you nervous, you get nervous. And that's the thing, because your subconscious mind doesn't know, what is happening and what isn't, which is why it's also really important to control your attention. Because if you're always around here and thinking about negative things and feeling negative emotions, that's exactly what's going to be programming your subconscious. So you want to be focusing and visualizing on your intentions, what you want out of life. So you want to focus on what life will be like after achieving the goal. Don't think of you achieving the goal like you, let's say, for example, winning a race, right? Let's say like you were running across the finish line, Don't think of that. Think of yourself like on the podium with the first place trophy. Because that moment where you cross the finish line, it can happen in many, many different ways. The main thing is you want to prime yourself for the emotion of accomplishment, right? Like you did it, it's done, right? And what does that feel like now? And you want to connect with that emotion, and you want to visualize it vividly and visualize it like a movie, like if you're living inside of it, right? Visualize it third person. Like, I'll share mine with you. Mine is eventually to get a mansion in Sausalito. It's a little city across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. And what I do is I visualize very, very specifically me pulling up to my house, and the gates are opening, and I pull in with my Audi RS7 Sportback, and I pull in to the driveway, and I look up at my house, and I visualize this over and over again, and then I visualize walking into my house, and I visualize it in third person, and also if I was looking through my eyes. And as you continue to do this, you will get more and more and more specific with your surroundings and the emotion that you feel. So that's what you want to do. And as you do this, it's going to begin to strengthen those connections in your brain associated with that. It's going to be priming your brain, literally getting yourself ready to experience something that hasn't happened yet. But now your subconscious mind is getting used to it, so that's where it's going to begin to believe that it already happened. And that begins to eliminate resistance. Next, just do what you got to do. Action. Take action. So we're intend, visualize, action. Just do what you got to do. Execute. So number 4 is going to be reflect. And this part is huge. I cannot stress this enough. All these steps are essential. But if there was one that was going to be the most crucial, it's going to be this one. Step number 4, reflect. At the end of every single day, take a moment, be maybe 10 minutes or so, maybe 30 if you want to do it longer. But just take a minute and review yourself. What did you do in that day? Did you face resistance? If so, how? And what were you thinking about? What were you feeling, right? Were you able to get done what you were supposed to do? Why or why not? Analyze yourself. View yourself objectively. Be like, oh, well, I was supposed to, I'll use an example for my business. I was supposed to do outreach, but, and message, 30 new people, but instead I felt a bit overwhelmed, so I went to scroll YouTube instead, right? So and you start to think about these things, and you begin to view yourself objectively. And what this does is, as you continue to do this, you process yourself objectively, and now you can see, and you'll start to be able to pinpoint your triggers for old habits and behaviors that don't suit your goals. So when you come to those forks in the road again, where for example, for me, where I'm feeling overwhelmed because I have a task I need to do, right? Something that's going to build my business, but I feel a bit overwhelmed. Naturally, I just want to escape and watch YouTube. But instead, because now that I'm conscious of it, I'm like, all right, hold on. Instead of doing that, I'm just going to do it anyway. And that's the second part of reflection. So why or why not, right? So what was going through your head? What were you feeling? And what was the action you took? And then you're going to respond to it, and you're going to write exactly how you're going to approach that situation the next time and what you're going to do instead. And I cannot stress this enough. This alone can change your whole life, because this will begin to uproot those habits, and you can effectively eliminate them. Very, very important. Do that every day, and obviously apply it to you. And number 5, of course, repeat. Doing this every single day is going to keep you in touch with your intentions. And eventually, you'll be doing this so much, and you'll be correcting your habits and your behaviors, noticing your triggers, visualizing with such specificity and emotional intensity that not only is your mind going to believe it to be true, those connections are going to become so strong eventually, they're going to become subconscious programs. And now you're going to be forging new connections for your new intentions. So that's pretty much it. Again, let me just recap what we talked about. The the system is going to be 1, intend; 2, visualize; 3, action; 4, reflect; 5, repeat. So I hope that is useful. Drop me a comment. What your experience with resistance has been. I think that this is something that was absolutely life changing for me. I know it's been life changing for my clients as well. So I figured I would share it. Maybe I can help some other people. Any questions? Again, drop a comment. Connect with me on Facebook. Uh, I'd love to talk to you about this stuff, see what's going on. Maybe we can hop on a call and dive deeper into it. But for now, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next one.